For your viewing pleasure, this broadcast of the Municipal Council meeting of Alpena is made possible by the funding provided by the City of Alpena. Thank you for your generosity.
Good evening. Welcome to Alpena City Council meeting, May 15th, 2017. Call the roll, please.
Johnson?
Here.
Nielsen?
Here.
Noah?
Here.
Sexton?
Here.
Waldorf?
Here. Please rise for the pledge. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Any modifications to the agenda this evening? Approval of the minutes for regular session of May 1st, 2017 and closed session of May 1st, 2017. Issues, changes? Citizens appearing before council on agenda and non-agenda items are allowed a maximum of 5 minutes to address your concerns. This is the only time this evening, with the exception of anything related to the budget. We'll have an open meeting and public hearing for that just shortly. So anything outside of the budget, please come up to the podium and state your name and address for our records, if you'd like.
Mike, basically, if you have anything to say, the council will open it.
Sure, please.
I don't hear too good.
Okay, sorry, that's all right.
Councilman, this is my first time here since, I believe, once I've been here, since LaHaye and Karsnick had the Gong Show. But, and I swore I'd never come again, but I did come once, and I believe that was kind of wrong in the issue of what I'm here for. That was when Dr. Winchesky's house was having a problem, and I see where it's on the market again. There's a lot of empty houses on the north side, I suppose on the south side too. Pass those on. Did I give you? No, you got the wrong pile.
Yes, sir, sir, can you state your name?
My name is James Shikuski. I live at 908 North 2nd Avenue. I've been a North Sider for 80 of my 90 plus years. And I always have thought the North Side doesn't get a fair shake. But I guess what got my gumption up to come tonight was a couple of weeks ago. I'm not sure I read it in the paper or one of my friends was just rubbing me that they're thinking about putting in a country curbing street in Alpena again. No? Well, good. Thank God for that.
I don't know, just go ahead, I'm not sure about that.
But
I'm not gonna say.
again, a couple of weeks ago, we have a country curb on North 2nd Avenue, which is supposedly one of the main streets in town. It was a bad idea then, and it's a bad idea now. There's only 2 or 3 streets in Alpena, I believe, that have country curb. And what I'd like to address is the street sweeper and the plow. When it plows 2nd Avenue north, it can't get close to the curb because of the country curbing. And this morning, I was out, I swept and shoveled up about 60 gallons of debris. And if I would rake my lawn, I could probably get another 60 or 80 pounds or gallons. during the winter, the plow goes by, it can't pick up the snow during the, near the edge, so all winter long, for many years, I've been shoveling the snow away from the sewer, not the sewer, the, whatever they call that one.
Storm drain?
The wastewater.
Right.
And the plow, I don't know how many blades they must have busted or cracked or if any, but it keeps chewing up the country curbing. And I don't know if it's just, it likes my house or it knows I like to clean it up. So I came up with a couple issues. That was number one. Then I've had 4 sidewalks in front of my house in the 60 years I've lived there. And this one, they added 24 inches, which would be 132 square feet of extra sidewalk I have to shovel every winter. And to do a decent job of shoveling sidewalk, you have to shovel to where the grass is or the melted snow does not run off the sidewalk. So that's, and I doubt very much whether there's been more than a dozen or 2 people in all those years that have walked on the bypath, I guess they called it. The number 2 issue was with that sidewalk put in like that, my water shut off is in one of those, and when I was snow plowing once, it caught on there and almost knocked me over and lifted it up about 5 inches out of the ground. I had to call the city. They did a temporary repair until spring. Come spring, it took them 2 or 3 days with, I'm amazed how much equipment they needed to fix it. And this picture is a sample of my lawn with when the cars drive by and hit the bigger pieces of the debris, it shoots sometimes onto the lawn. Once it hit a student walking down the sidewalk, and the other pictures are just pictures of the mess. It's the second time I shoveled the debris, and I want to know what, I've got it in my car now, where can I take it to the city garage area and get rid of it, or how do I get rid of the debris that the city should have picked up? Because it's been at least 2 weeks ago since the street sweeper went by.
Yeah, I'm not sure how to respond to you, but what I'll ask you to do is, I've taken some notes here, and Rich Sullinger is here. I'm going to ask you to give him a call in the morning.
Who?
Rich Sullinger, our city engineer. He's the department head of the DPW, and I'd like you to give him a call in the mornings. Cindy looks like she might be writing his name and number down. Give Rich a call in the morning, and he'll take care of that for you, or let you know what to do.
Could we get the number for you?
She's got it.
354-1700, and he can just,
Yes, ma'am.
1730 rings in the engineering if I'm not in there.
okay.
Does that sound fair?
That's it.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank
Sir,
you for
did
your
you want-
time.
did you want to leave
More
these
important
pictures?
things to do.
Are these our copies?
Do you want to leave it with
The
them?
city can keep them.
Okay.
Thank you. Anyone else this evening? On the consent agenda, A is bills to be allowed in the amount of $310,606.75. B is approval of the Thunder Bay Car Show at Starlite Beach. And C is approval of the Junior Achievement 5K race event.
I move we approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Nielsen?
Yes.
Nowak?
Yes.
Sexton?
Yes.
Walagora?
Aye.
Johnson?
Yes.
Okay, I have a proclamation this evening. This is for World Multiple Sclerosis Day. Whereas multiple sclerosis or MS, is a neurological disease of the central nervous system affecting 3 million people worldwide. And whereas the National Multiple Sclerosis Society Michigan chapter reports that in our state more than 18,000 people are diagnosed with MS, and that the disease generally strikes people in the prime of their life between the ages of 20 through 50 and causes unpredictable effects in which the progression, severity, and specific symptoms cannot be foreseen, and the cause and cure for this often debilitating disease remain unknown. And whereas funds raised through the National Multiple Sclerosis Society fuel the efforts of nearly 380 research projects globally, totaling $54 million annually at the best medical centers, universities, and other institutions throughout the United States and abroad. Because of this, MS research, especially stem cell research, has never been more hopeful than it is today. And whereas discovering the cause, finding a cure, and preventing future generations from being diagnosed with MS as an important task that all Americans and Michiganians should support. And whereas the City of Alpena recognizes the importance of finding the cause and cure of MS, a chronic and often devastating disease, and expresses its appreciation and admiration for the dedication that the National Multiple Sclerosis Society Michigan chapter has shown towards the future free of MS. Now therefore, I, Matthew J. Walagora, by the virtue of authority vested in me as the mayor of the City of Alpena, do hereby proclaim May 31st, 2017 as World MS Day in the City of Alpena, and do commend this observance to all of our citizens, encourage all Michiganians to learn more about multiple sclerosis and what they can do to support individuals with MS and their families. And this evening, we have Deanna Harrison from the MS Society. You were sneaking out. Not you.
I know.
All right, next up is public hearing for the city budget. Open the public hearing with a report by the city treasurer and the city manager.
Mine's pretty short. I gave all the information last week, and then this time I gave you a memo just showing a few of the changes. And there were just a few corrections in content. There was one numerical, I should say financial change with, that was the flat roofing. I ended up changing it from, we said 3,000, but I ended up being 6,300, because when I combined the maintenance and the capital, it wasn't, we didn't have as much as we thought we did. So that is also in there, and that took the budget from 29.22 down to 29.16, so just a little tiny bit there. And then we also put Rich's water and sewer rate increases that he discussed last meeting. We also put those in. There are a few other things that may hit our budget. It may not, probably will be in June, and that's like the dog park. It's gonna just be a pass-through, but those are things that might need to get into the budget eventually. And then our contract's expiring, the union contract, so there may be some changes there. But overall, there were no large changes.
My only comment, you had my memo last meeting on my comments regarding the budget. If there are any questions on any of that, I'll be happy to answer them, but otherwise, from everything I understand, Karen did a very thorough job last meeting, and I thank her for that while I was off.
Thank you. Yep, it went well. That's normal. I'll open up to public comment. For any comments from the public for the topic of the budget, please come to the podium, state your name and address. Any written comments, Karen? I'll close the public hearing. Open it up for council discussion. Anyone?
I just want a couple of quick comments. Just want to make or thank Rich for bringing the information he did last week last year I asked that council I had pulled the water rates out of the budget. I'm not asking this year. A couple of things changed. One, water production was being down, so that obviously had an effect from everything that I was looking at. The other thing to keep in mind too, and what convinced me that this is needed and necessary, is construction costs overall. Any kind of road constructions are averaging about 8 to 12% increases annually, and that's just really took a jump here in the last couple of years. So all of the water improvement projects that we want to do are not going to get cheaper, and things that we paid for a couple of years ago are already costing us more. So I just wanted to kind of put that out there, since last year I wasn't in favor of any of the rates increase, and this year here, what I'm seeing from everything that I've looked at made sense. I just want to make that comment. Thanks again, Rich.
Anyone else? I think the process went very well.
Yes.
Thank you, Karen, Greg. Rich? Everything went fine. Pretty much kept the services that we would expect, and increased the funding on a few things, which was nice to see. And we're still at 29.16 for the fund balance. I think that's comfortable, more than comfortable for me, but very good.
I would like to thank, not only the people you said, but all the department heads who worked very hard on the budgets and realizing trying to, keep costs under control, but at the same time trying to increase some services or reinstate services that we had cut back a number of years ago when the budgets got very tight. So that's been one of our goals. Unfortunately, we still have a number of unknowns out there, which is why we feel comfortable with that larger fund balance that otherwise in most cases we would be looking to spend down. We just feel that it is improvement still with a lot of unknowns out there.
Excellent. All right, then we would have 3 resolutions, if I'm correct. Fiscal year 2017-18 budget adoption resolution. Adoption of 3-year budget.
Mine's on my desk at home. I looked it all through, so yeah, I always have it with me.
Where are they?
It's funny. I move we approve adoption resolution 2017, budget adoption resolution 2017-2018.
Second.
Noah?
Yes.
Sexton?
Yes.
Walagora?
Aye.
Johnson?
Yes.
Nielsen?
Yes.
Next up is adopt the fiscal year 2017-18 appropriations resolution number 2017-05, which are pages 24 through 28 of your budget.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you.
Sexton?
Yes.
Walagora?
Aye.
Johnson?
Yes.
Nielsen?
Yes.
Noah?
Yes.
Okay, last is to adopt the amended 2016-17 budget column titled 16 through 17 estimated term.
So moved.
Second. Oops.
That's a tie. I couldn't tell you, Karen.
Walagora?
Aye.
Johnson?
Yes.
Nielsen?
Yes.
Noah?
Yes.
Sexton?
Yes.
Thank you. Next up, report of officers, bids, Asbestos Services.
I'm going to defer back to the budget for just 1 second. Greg had indicated some services that we had back in. One of those is the second bag leaf pickup, bag lawn material pickup. We had one last week. We'll have our second one this spring, June 5th. And then we'll also have 2 in the fall. So we've basically doubled that service back to our citizens that we had to cancel before. So just one of those positives out of the budget.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
The city of Alpena solicited and received proposals for asbestos and hazardous materials related services at the water recycling plant and water production plant. We sent the RFP out to, I believe, 13 or 17 firms and only received 2 proposals back. One was from AKT Peerless out of Saginaw, Michigan. The other was from Global Green Services out of Dearborn, Michigan. Both proposals were evaluated with regards to references and credentials, services to be provided, and costs associated with developing the plan. Plan development from AKT Peerless was $10,400, $5,200 at each plant. Plan development from Global Green Services was $4,800. We went through and evaluated each of the proposals to look at the services they were providing, and in that evaluation, AKT Peerless provided a significantly more information and supporting documentation about the work that they would be performing, and proposed the work to be completed. AKT Peerless also indicated that within the $10,400 plan development fee was sampling and testing up to 35 bulk samples at each plant, totaling 70 samples. Global Green Services did not indicate sampling and testing in their report preparation. AKT Peerless also provided pricing for overseeing the removal, utilizing a subcontracted abatement contractor if the city proceeds with the abatement. And we will, just as an aside, we're looking at a boiler replacement over at the wastewater plant, and Mike Kalashevsky has been working with the design folks on that. There's asbestos that we do need to abate in that boiler room area. Ballpark estimate's about $12,000, but they said we wanted to get these folks on board so we can have a plan developed. Based on review and evaluation of the proposals received, it is my recommendation as city engineer that City Council authorize utilizing the services of AKT Peerless for the development of an asbestos hazardous material abatement plan in the amount of $10,400. The city has $35,000 in the current budget to undertake the study and initiate a portion of that work.
Rich, just a quick question I've got, reading it over and such, and I apologize for my voice. This is just more or less a required plan that we have to put together in any event that we have to remove any asbestos from any facility that we are in charge of.
This is just targeted at the water and wastewater plant.
Mm-hmm.
We know we have it there. We don't know the quantities, all the locations. This will identify it and prioritize it for removal based on the condition of the asbestos.
Thank you.
I don't have any questions. Okay. Sorry, got nothing for you. It's all pretty cut and dry, I guess.
I move to authorize the services of AKT Peerless for the development of asbestos and hazardous materials abatement plan.
Second.
Johnson?
Yes.
Nielsen?
Yes.
Noah?
Yes.
Sexton?
Yes.
Waldorf?
Thank you, Rich. Communications and petition, we have Chief's Bar and Grill, request for the streets shut down to the and a variance of a noise ordinance. I'm gonna get to the noise variance and street closures for the following dates are all on Saturdays, June 3rd, 10th, 24th, and 22nd for the Mutt Run, for the Humane Society, volleyball bike run for the Volleyball Association, I guess, Forgotten Eagles fundraiser, and the Relay for Life fundraiser. Also street closures for the following dates until 10 p.m., so that wouldn't necessarily be a noise variance, because that would meet the current standard time. But a street closure for, these are all for bike night, and they all fall on a Thursday evening, June 15th, 22nd, 29th, July 6th and 20th, and August 3rd and 10th. Make a couple of just quick statements about what we obviously know about the Chiefs. They do quite a few fundraisers and events at their establishment. From my perspective, I've never heard really any issues with what they do. The engineering and DPW department had a bit of a couple of statements about the use of their barricades on all of those dates. I talked to the proprietors before the meeting, and they don't have an issue with building their own, so they won't be utilizing the DPWs as long as they're built to the pretty much the same specs and safety issues that ours are at. That way, the DPW won't have to deliver them and pick them up and or be without them for all these dates. so that shouldn't be an issue. As far as closing that block, is that a full block? Is that a half a block? I'm sorry.
It's about a half.
About a half a block? We had a map, but, so as far as closing that half a block for that many dates, I'm always from the perspective that I don't particularly want to keep somebody from doing something that might be very good on the fear that someone in the neighborhood might not like it. We've had maybe the same discussion with the, not hacky sack, but the cornhole tournament thing. So personally, I have no issue with supporting their events, and I talked to them as well about the fact that I'd rather go in, me personally, I'd rather go into it this way and see if there are any issues, and they've always been that way of an understanding that if there are issues, we'll address them at that point. So that's my perspective. I don't have a problem with it.
The only concern I had was picking up and the dropping off of the, all the equipment that we have to for those. It sounds like that's been addressed, so I don't have an issue with anything else either.
They've been a great community partner on the north side. It is a neighborhood bar, and most of that neighborhood, I think, is comfortable with opening themselves to these events. And certainly agree with your philosophy to try it and see what happens.
Yeah.
Foresee any
I agree.
issues.
They do a good job with it. They really do.
Okay. Excellent. Take a motion on that then.
Do you want all the dates included?
I think we can just pass everything they're asking at
The
once.
approval, yeah, their request.
Approval of their request.
And the noise ordinance.
I move that we approve the requests and the noise variance.
Second.
Nielsen?
Yes.
Noah?
Yes.
Sexton?
Yes.
Walagora?
Aye.
Johnson?
Yes.
Excellent. Thank you. Thanks for coming. Just get with the DPW about the construction of those barricades. All right, next up, new business, traffic control order 217, two-way traffic on Carter and Third. And just gonna roll it right up with, as well with traffic control order 317, back in angle parking on River Street. Rich?
Basically, at City Council's direction, we've initiated the process of converting the one-way on Carter Street, two-way, and also to change the parking on River Street between Second and Third. These traffic orders just supersede the previous ones and establish the parking and allow for the two-way traffic on Third Avenue to comply with that new layout and design.
That seems pretty straightforward.
I think they're fine.
Yeah, I think
Excited.
everything is fine.
Great.
I move, do you want those in two separate motions?
Yes.
I think
Okay,
so.
I move we approve traffic control order 2-17.
Second.
Noah?
Yes.
Sexton?
No.
Walagora?
Aye.
Johnson?
No.
Nielsen?
Yes.
I move we approve traffic control order 3-17 back in the angle parking on River Street.
Second.
Walagora?
Aye.
Johnson?
Yes.
Nielsen?
Yes.
Noah?
Yes.
Sexton?
Yes.
I move we adjourn to closed session to discuss pending litigation.
Second.
Somebody's fast tonight.
Johnson?
Yes.
Nielsen?
Yes.
Noah?
Yes.
Sexton?
Yes.
Walagora?